Hello. This is going to be another episode of the series Motivational Monday Live with your host, Aura Eleanor Martinez. And this week's episode is entitled Make Every Moment Count. Now, before I start with this week's episode, I would like to start off by introducing myself if this is the first time that you are watching this series, and also share with you what was it that prompted me to start this series in the first place. So once again, my name is Orlena Martinez, and I'm a self-discovery and empowerment coach, helping women gain total clarity in their purpose so they can wake up to daily fulfillment and certainty. Now, purpose is not limited to just a calling. And this is because you could be living your calling and still not be living your most purposeful life. And this is because a purposeful life also consists of you enjoying greater levels of mental well-being, emotional well-being, spiritual well-being, physical well-being, and why not, even financial well-being, because every part of you and your life matters. And what prompted me to start this series is the fact that Monday tends to be that day of the week that many are like, oh my gosh, it's the start of the week. I am not looking forward to going to work. Oh my God, I am feeling anxious. I am feeling this. I am feeling that. And if that is you, if you do not look forward to Mondays, if you do not look forward to going to work, if you do not look forward to all the things that you have to do, let that be your sign that something must change. Because you are not meant to be dreading the week, dreading what you have to do, dreading going to work, not looking forward to all the things that you're doing. That is not how life is meant to be. And it is my intention that with this series, you look forward to Mondays, because you know you're going to be filled emotionally, mentally, spiritually with so much goodness. And it is my intention also that this series connects you more and more with your truth. And why is that so important? Because the more you know your truth and you live your truth, that's when you're able to experience a level of happiness that doesn't rely on something outside of you, that doesn't rely on anything or anyone else. It's something that you can tap on anytime you want and that you need it. And also, the intention of this series is to elevate your level of consciousness. You're going to hear me say this every single week. This matters more than you can possibly imagine. And this is because your level of consciousness dictates what resonates, your level of understanding, your capacity to really see something for what it is and seize opportunities when it does come to you. When you see someone, or when you see two people that have the same opportunity, but one person is able to take advantage of it where the other person is still stuck, it's because they're not in the same level of consciousness, right? Your level of consciousness dictates what you receive and what you don't, okay? The higher your level of consciousness, the greater your chances, thank you for the hearts, for you to succeed, the higher the chances for you to seize opportunities. If you are in a building and you're looking outside from the first floor, everything looks big, right? The buildings look big, people look same size as you, if not taller. The cars look big. But if you go to the 10th floor, the cars don't look so big. The people start looking a lot smaller. The buildings don't look so tall. Same thing happens when you raise your level of consciousness. What was once big, it starts having a smaller view in your mind, right? And what was once small, it starts having a bigger meaning, a bigger importance for you. I'm telling you, people that are successful, they have a higher level of consciousness. And once again, the title for this episode is Make Every Moment Count. Now, I just came back today from Milan, and I am so jet lagged. And I'm not going to lie. This morning when we took off, shortly after takeoff, I'm not going to lie, my legs were shaking. They were shaking because we were passing through a storm and the plane was shaking in such a way that even passengers were getting concerned. And about 2 hours later is when the second flight from Milan leaves and to arrive to New York. So I was on the first flight, the early flight, then there was a later flight. And the later flights, because the storm got worse, luckily they were able to land in Rome because the plane suffered damage. And it's moments where you're scared, where things like that happen, where you may be vulnerable, that you realize how important it is that we make every moment count. And that's what I want to talk about today. And mind you, I had a completely different topic in mind to talk about, but I wasn't feeling that topic, especially after what I went through this morning, right? And with today's episode, what I'm going to be discussing is what exactly do I mean with make every moment count, right? Because it's not what we have been so conditioned to think that making every moment count actually means. What to expect as you're working on making every moment count. This is just as important because this is going to be touching on that mindset and that emotional resilience that is so necessary. And the third thing is how to get to a point where you make every moment count, because this matters, okay? What's going to make every moment count is going to be different for every single person. This is why I do not recommend that you go to someone else for their advice, for someone else for their point of view, for what they think, happiness is. No. Each and every one of us are unique individuals. And what is going to make every moment of your life matter is going to be different for you and to someone else, okay? And what I mean with make every moment count is the following. You living the way you truly desire to live. You doing the things that you want to do and that always take you closer to all the things that you desire, okay? It is you speaking your truth. This is so challenging and it requires so much courage. I know that firsthand, okay? It is you living your truth. That too can be very challenging as well. And I'm going to be talking more about it later on. It is you feeling like every moment is exquisite. Yes, it's you feeling that every moment is exquisite. It's you doing things not because you have to, but because you want to. It is you doing things because that's what you want to do and not because it fits with others. Okay, big difference. It is you feeling so full on a daily basis. You feeling so full, but your soul is feeling full, okay? We have been so conditioned to think that the way that we make every moment count in our life is by working a lot. That way we're making those dollars, right? Oftentimes in jobs that we don't even enjoy, or be in environments where we don't even fit, or living a routine that doesn't excite us, right? In conversations that rather than lifting our vibe, it lowers it. And I want you to know that time is way too precious. Time is way too precious. What did we smoke as human beings in general that we have believed this BS? That this is the way that we're supposed to live, that we're frustrated, that we're complaining, that we're like, oh, it is what it is. No. What have we smoked that we believed all this BS? That's what's called being asleep. This is why it's my desire with this series that you always wake up, because it's so important. It's more important than what you think. I'm going to say this. If you do not look forward to the job that you're going to or the job that you do, if you're constantly complaining about how your life is, if you literally have to drag yourself or force yourself to get the things done, please let that be your sign that something must change, because that's not life. Yes, there's going to be an element of fear. When I showed up on TV on Friday, oh my God, I was nervous, right? But it was a nerve that was so mixed with excitement. It wasn't a nerve that was like, oh my God, I'm not looking forward to this, right? Which is very different. It's very different. You're not designed to feel frustrated on a consistent basis. You're not designed to be dreading your week. It's actually normal to feel excited most of the time. It's actually normal. We have been so conditioned to think that it is not normal, especially if you go through a lot of hard times. And I know what that's like. I've been through hard times since I was 8, when my dad became wheelchair bound at the age of 32 because of a tumor. So I get it. I get it, okay? It's actually normal for you to look forward to all the things that you have to do during the day. It's time for us to normalize this instead of normalizing suffering, instead of normalizing pain. Of course, life will have moments where it can be painful, but it doesn't mean that has to be your main meal, your main dish on a daily basis. Do you get where I'm going with this, right? It's actually normal to feel energized. It's time to normalize feeling energized, right? We need to start normalizing that instead of normalizing complaining, feeling frustrated all the time, feeling exhausted all the time, feeling as if the soul is being sucked out of you. That is not how you're meant to be living. Okay? If you're complaining, even if it's to yourself, okay, not necessarily to other people, but even if it's to yourself, and you're feeling frustrated, even though you're going to work and you're making that money, right? So you're being very productive, you're still not making every moment count if that's the situation that you're in. You're still not making every moment count. And this is because in order to make every moment count, your mental, your spiritual, your emotional, and your physical state, they all have to be aligned. They all have to be aligned. So the key here is to feel and be good, not just to feel good. You know, we've heard a lot, the secret is feeling good. I beg to differ. The secret is being good, which includes the emotions, but it includes thinking good. It includes your whole essence being good, okay? We have been conditioned for too long to think that making every moment count means, oh, let me make the money, let me make the bacon, even though I'm not looking forward to going to work. Oh my God, no. There are other aspects to this that matter, and it's the being good, which includes the feeling good, the thinking good, right? Everything good. Now I want to talk about what to expect as you're working on making every moment count, because this matters a lot. All right. And this has a lot to do with the inner being and the mind and having that resilience, right? Expect to be on a self-discovery journey. Expect it. Okay. Expect to be amazed at how much you learn about yourself. Self-discovery is the basis of everything. It doesn't matter what it is that you're wanting to transform in your life, whether that is money, career, business, right? Everything, love, everything. The basis is self-discovery, okay? And you will notice that as you are on your journey of self-discovery and doing the inner work, you're going to be way less tolerant for BSs. You're going to be way less tolerant. You will understand how you function. You will understand and know how to fill your own cup up, right? How to fill your being up. That matters. That's very important. You will know what makes you truly happy. This matters as well. You will gain more clarity as to what you desire out of life and out of yourself. That is so important. One of the reasons why some people do not have the life that they want and they're not taking the action that they need to take is because they lack clarity. Lack of clarity is so expensive to you on so many levels, okay? Expect to need courage. Expect to need courage. I've come to realize that it takes courage to ignore the outside noise. And when I say the outside noise, what I mean is what others have to say, what others are thinking, what society thinks, what culture dictates or say. The pressure to fit in can be too much. The lack of understanding from others can be a bit much. The voices that we have internalized and made our own, all of that are things that need to be removed, all right, from your system, so that taking the action and doing what it is that you have to do becomes easier. When you notice that it is so hard for you to take action, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be business. It can be in love. It can be in career. Whatever it is, the gap is not necessarily outside of you, it's more internally. When you could close that gap within, you're going to see that the gap outside of you will start to close. And this is where inner work comes into play. Expect to not be understood. Yes. The more you are your authentic self, especially if you haven't been your authentic self for so long, for whatever the reason, right? As you grow, others around you will notice it and will not understand, right? And that's okay if you're not understood. Don't seek to be understood, right? Instead, look for people and surround yourself by people that are in the same journey as you and the same path as you. That way they can support you and you can support them, okay? This is the reason why when you're wanting to attract a certain group of people, it's so important that you become that person first. And this is because we attract not what we want, but who we are. That's what we attract, not what we want, but who we are, okay? In order for you not to allow the misunderstandings from other people or the lack of understanding from other people to affect you, you must be grounded within yourself and in your vision. This needs to be so solid within you. This is more important than you can possibly imagine, okay? And surround yourself with those that support this version of you. This becomes very important. Sometimes the reason why some people do not continue on the path that they are wanting to go is because they're not surrounded by the people that support them. And it becomes more and more important that you surround yourself by the people that can support that journey, okay? The worst thing that you could do is backtrack because of what other people may think, okay? Expect challenges. This is so important. Expect challenges. Expect the inner challenges and outer challenges. And what I mean with inner challenges is that you will have days where you're going to want to cave into the pressure, the criticism, the misunderstanding, right? And the reason why I say these are inner challenges is because we all have our weak moments. We all have those moments where we could cave in to the outer stuff. But the challenge is more within in that case, right? We all have our vulnerabilities. For example, right now, this is a very vulnerable moment for me because I am so jet lagged. I am so tired. It would have been a lot easier for me to just relax and rest and sleep rather than do this, right? And so we could cave into the pressure, the criticism, the misunderstanding, the physical, whatever, the external circumstances, in my case, the exhaustion, the jet lag, right? And what I also mean, so the inner challenge in this case is a weakness within, a vulnerability within, a moment where the temptation to want to give in or let go or give up is there, okay? What I also mean with inner challenges is your limiting beliefs, any stories you may be telling yourself, other people's limitations that you may have internalized, your fears, right? And outer challenges can be anything from resources, whether that's lack of resources or lack of support, right? Other people's thoughts and beliefs, your lack of actions, yes. And the reason why I mention this is because action is what facilitates the manifestation of whatever it is that you want. This is why this matters, okay? And I would dare to say that the biggest hurdle that we need to overcome is this, right? Our own self. We could get in our own way. This is why self-mastery is so important. It is so important. Expect to have to train yourself. Train yourself to what? You probably may be wondering. Well, train yourself to be disciplined. Train yourself to be happy. Yes, I said that. Train yourself to be happy. Because happiness is a choice, right? Happiness doesn't just come when things are great. It is easy to feel good when things are great, right? It is very easy. Trust, happiness is a choice. This is why I created the course, Be Your Own Happy Place. Because especially nowadays, it's so important that you train yourself, that you teach yourself how to be your own happy place, okay? So I created that course that's on my site. You have to train yourself in every aspect, right? You must train yourself to nurture that happiness, right? And when I say take action to nurture that happiness, because it's important that you take action to nurture it, this has very little to do with goals, right? This is about you ensuring that you do things on a daily basis that makes you happy. Yes, I said it, on a daily basis that makes you happy, because as human beings, we tend to lean into the negativity. We need to train ourselves to be positive. And that is so doable, that is so possible. And it's so important that you nurture the happiness, okay? And you know something else that will add to your happiness and that will make every moment count in your life? It is you keeping your commitments to yourself. You keeping your commitments to yourself. As I mentioned earlier, as I'm speaking to you, I am so tired. I'm so tired. I am so jet lagged. It would have been easier for me to skip this week's episode of Motivational Monday Live, right? However, the danger in that is that deep down, I would have been like, oh my God, I skipped a week. Damn. And I would have lost trust in myself, right? Because I would have thought, okay, any little thing can make me not keep my commitment to myself. And the same thing happens to you when you break your commitments that you make to yourself, whatever commitment, that's going to make you lose trust in yourself. That's going to make you doubt yourself that you actually have what it takes, right? That's when your self-esteem starts to shift. Oh my God, do I really have what it takes? Can I really do this even though I'm tired? Can I really do this even though I'm nervous? Can I really do this even though I'm insecure? Can I really do this even though this isn't the right moment, the right time, the right timing, the right whatever? And you may even notice that you break other commitments that you had already made to yourself. Because once you break one, it gets easier to break another, right? You have to train your mind to think success. You have to train your eyes to see success. There's a reason why I say that. It's so easy to look at all the negative and all the things that aren't going right. And so we need to train our eyes to see success. You must train your mouth to speak success. This is so important, right? It's so easy to talk about what isn't going right, what isn't working. You got to train your mouth to speak success. So there's a lot of training involved with you making every moment count, because everything that you do at every moment matters. It all snowballs. It all adds together. It's a domino effect. And how do you get to a point where you make every moment count? Number one, be willing to do the inner work. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's because I cannot emphasize enough how important this is. This is more important than you could possibly imagine. You want to be unstoppable. You want to be able to face your fears with a lot of courage. This is it. It's inner work. You want to be able to close the gap in your outer world. It starts by you closing the gap within you, and that starts with inner work. The way you can ensure that your highest self is in the driver's seat of your life is through inner work. It's through inner work. The reason why this matters is also because you're not going to be blinded by your blind spots. We all have blind spots, right? And the reason why this matters so much is because you then won't do any self-sabotaging efforts towards the things that you want. For example, procrastinating or delaying the things that you want in your life. When you notice that you do that, it's because there's something within you that you need to work on. Okay, number two is knowing yourself deeply. This is so important. Who truly are you? What do you desire? Who would you be if you had no limitations? What would you do if you had no limitations? What does your heart truly desire? What is the essence of your soul? Are you playful? Are you creative? What lights your soul up? All of this is so important because all of this is part of you making every moment count. And this also is part of you nurturing your happiness. Number 3, up your level of consciousness. This is so important. A different life requires a different level of consciousness. Okay? It's about you seeing things differently. It's about you seeing yourself differently. It's about seeing through things. So you're not letting yourself be lied to by appearances. You're able to see through that. It's about you breaking the matrix in which we live in. We live in a matrix. We don't even realize it. Where many times we are who we are because someone says some stupid crap to us and we have internalized it, or we have been made to believe that this is the way that we're going to be happy, and this is what add happiness, and this is what's going to make you more worthy, or all this crap that we have internalized. We live in a matrix, and this is why waking up becomes even more important, because you live in the matrix because you're asleep. When you're asleep, you believe in the matrix, you live from the matrix, you think from the matrix, you behave from the matrix, okay? And this is also about you seeing above and beyond your problems, right? This is also important. So if you are ready to transform your life, to get out of the matrix, to see yourself clearly, you want to gain an understanding of what's really the block and transform that block. You want to know what are your next steps. You want to up your level of consciousness. Now, I'm going to recommend that you schedule your clarity call with me. Just message me or schedule that call. And in that call, we're going to go over where you are now, where you would like to be, what is necessary to close that gap, I said gap, oh my God, that gap, and how I'm able to help you, because you don't need to be confused, lost, going in circles, not knowing what is what, not knowing what your next step is. Get the clarity that you need. Get the transformation that you're seeking. Allow yourself that coach that will listen to you, that will guide you. Give yourself that space, that container. It's so valuable. It's so valuable. It's more valuable than you could possibly imagine. And share this video with other people. You never know who needs to listen to this message, because this is the message that they need, okay? And how that can transform their life. And with that said, it is my desire that you live life to the max the way you are destined to live. And until next time, bye for now.